Have you ever tried to teach a child to read? You know that feeling, right? The English language can feel like this impossibly jumbled puzzle. I mean, why do though and bo look so similar but sound totally different? Well, today we are cracking that code. And the secret, it's not in the letters you see, but in the sounds you hear. I mean, really think about that. Long before a single letter was ever carved into stone or written on paper, we had sound. We had spoken language. That is the original, the OG code. The symbols we use today, they're just a way to write that code down. Everything, and I mean everything we're about to cover begins right here with what we can hear. And here it is. This is the heart of the whole puzzle. We've got 26 letters trying to do the job of 44 different sounds. Can you just imagine being 5 years old trying to make sense of that? It's no wonder it's confusing. So to help our kids, we first have to understand why our alphabet is so, well, wonderfully weird. So, how did we get here? Where did this mismatch come from? Well, our alphabet has this fascinating and, yeah, kind of messy history. See, it wasn't custom built for English. Nope. It was more like it was borrowed, patched together, and then forced to fit a language it was never really designed for. So let's hop in the time machine for a quick trip to see how it all went down. Okay, so it all kicks off with Phoenician traders. They had this brilliant game-changing idea to create symbols for sounds. The Romans took that system and streamlined it into the 26 letters we all recognize today. But here's the twist. When this Latin alphabet got applied to the English language, it was like trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. English had all these sounds the Romans never even made. So suddenly, those 26 letters had to work serious overtime, which led us to the complex, non-phonetic system we're wrestling with today.
And that right there is why we can't just expect kids to magically pick up reading. It's just not going to happen. In a perfectly phonetic language, maybe. But with English, we have to literally hand them the instruction manual. And that manual is systematic phonics. It's not just one good idea among many. It is the only way to explicitly teach the code of our tricky but beautiful language.
Okay, so if we have to teach this code, where on earth do we start? Well, we start with the single most important concept in learning how to read. It's called the alphabetic principle. And trust me, this is the big aha moment that unlocks everything else. So what is it? Simply put, the alphabetic principle is that light bulb moment when a child finally understands that those strange little squiggles on a page aren't just drawings. They're a code. Each symbol stands for a specific sound that comes out of our mouths. And once they get that, bam! They've found the key to the whole system. So what does this actually look like inside a kid's brain? Well, it's kind of like a super fast matching game. They see the letter C, and their brain instantly pulls up the cuss sound file. They see A, it pulls up A. They see T, and boom, there's the tuh sound. And this isn't guessing. It's a lightning-fast retrieval process, symbol by symbol. And here's where the magic really happens. They take those individual sound files, k, a, t, and they just blend them together. Cat. That's decoding. Now, notice what they didn't do. They didn't look at a picture of a cat and guess. They didn't just see the C and shout out some random word that starts with C. No, they systematically cracked the code. But wait a second. Hold on. Before a child can connect the letter C to the sound k, they first need to be able to actually hear that k sound inside the spoken word cat, right? This brings us to a crucial skill that comes even before the alphabet. It's called phonemic awareness. This is phonemic awareness. And take a close look here. Notice anything missing? There are no letters. This is a purely auditory skill. It has nothing to do with sight. It's all about being able to play with the sounds of language in your head. Can you pull them apart? Can you stick them together? Can you swap them around? It really is literacy for the ear. So how do we build this skill? Easy. We play fun, simple games. For example, you can ask a child, what's the very first sound you hear in the word sun? Or you can play a robot game. I'm going to talk like a robot. T. What word am I saying? These are simple but incredibly powerful exercises that tune a child's ear for the hard work of reading. This idea is so important. Think about it. If a child can't mentally break the spoken word cat into 3 separate sounds, k, t, then the written letters C-A-T on a page are just meaningless squiggles. The connection has to happen in the ear before it can ever make sense to the eye.
All right, so once a child's ear is all tuned in and ready to go, we can finally start connecting those sounds to letters. And thankfully, those 44 sounds in English aren't just a random jumble. They can be sorted into 2 distinct families, which makes teaching them way more systematic. We've got our consonants and our vowels. And the difference isn't just some abstract grammar rule. It's totally physical. For consonant sounds, your lips, teeth, or tongue block the air in some way. Go on, try making a P or T sound. You can feel that little stop, right? But for vowels, the sound just flows freely from an open mouth. They're like the music of our language. Now, to make these sounds really stick in a child's brain, we have to go way beyond just showing them a flashcard. We've got to engage as many senses as possible. They need to see the letter and see our mouths making the sound. They need to hear the sound and say it back. And they need to feel it, maybe by tracing the letter in the air or tapping out the sounds. It makes learning an active, whole-body experience. So, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but how do I actually fit it into a jam-packed school day? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. A short, consistent, and really powerful daily routine. Let's take a look at what that might be. Here's a perfect example. Just 10 minutes. That's it. You start with a quick sound chant to warm up the brain. Then a fast-paced visual drill to build that automatic recall. A quick sorting game to apply the skill. And you wrap it up with a song to make it all stick. The key here isn't how long you do it. It's that you do it every single day. Frequency always beats duration. 10 minutes. That's all it takes. Doing this consistently every single day is what builds those neural pathways in the brain. It makes recognizing letters and sounds totally effortless, like breathing. And maybe even more importantly, it sends this powerful message to the child: I can do this. I am a reader. I absolutely love this metaphor. It completely reframes our job, doesn't it? You're not just a teacher drilling letters and sounds. You're a gardener. You're tending to the most fundamental seed of human communication, and you're creating the fertile ground where a lifetime of reading can just blossom. So I'll leave you with this final question. Now that you know that reading truly begins in the ear, not in the eye, what is one small thing you can do tomorrow to be that gardener? How will you plant that seed?